Brenda, good evening. Not much time left in the show, but what can we help you with?
Yes, sir. I was wanted to ask you about the law of the lemon car.
Okay.
The lemon law on used car.
Sure. Go ahead.
As is used car.
It's Jim, we've had this call and question before. The lemon law, I think Brenda's referring to it, is when you buy a used car, there are some protections in Mississippi. Miss Brenda, have you gotten caught up in something like this?
Yes, I have. They were financing it for me, and 2 days after I got the car, the rack opinion went out. I didn't end up power steering.
Wow.
But the first step, I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Brenda.
Miss Brenda, I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. So the first step in any sort of purchase like this is to look at your paperwork. You need to get your paperwork out, take a look at it, see what representations were made or not made in terms of the car and its history, and you start from there. And if you have trouble interpreting some of the language, I don't know how complex this transaction was. Sometimes people will sell cars just as is, where is, with nothing more in terms of a representation. Sometimes it's a large disclaimer. Sometimes if it's a car lot, they'll have arbitration provisions. We have to look at all that to see kind of where you need to go with the claim. And so I don't know what kind of transaction it was, whether it's from an individual or car lot or dealership, and it can be different depending on who you purchased it from and what your documentation says. So start with that, but it sounds like you've definitely got a problem if something that serious went out in that short a period of time. I don't know how many miles your car had on it
right.
or how old it was. All those are factors.
2 days seems a little quick.
Very suspicious. So
yeah, very suspicious.
If you want to get your paperwork out, you can call the office Monday and take a look at it, but it really is going to start and emanate from what your agreement with them says and what their status is, if it's just an individual versus a business that sells cars or used cars for a living.
I do know that Mississippi does have a pretty good lemon law when it comes to a dealership or a private business.
Yes.
Individual, that's a good question.
Yeah, you definitely have some
hold on to that paperwork.
More rights, and so it's going to depend on who you purchase it from, what the paperwork says. Go from there.
Maybe something for Justice Court, Jim? Is this one of these? Maybe possibly?
May very well be, depending on the value of the car and the repairs.
Jim, we only have like 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half left in the show. Let's go over some of the big tactics like we were just talking about a minute ago. Some of these people get bullied around, and what are some of the things that you see?
Just a few rules of thumb when you're dealing with an insurance claim at all. Okay, first of all, the size of the potential claim. If you have your house is blown down in a hurricane, if you have a serious personal injury where someone has been either seriously hurt and can't return to work in short order, or someone's been killed, you need an attorney from the get-go. Okay, you need somebody to look at that because it's high stakes, it's complicated, and there's a lot of motivation for people to try to beat you out of your claim or beat down the value of your claim. If you're going to deal with insurance companies on your own on a smaller claim, or at least try to, some basic rules of thumb. Always write down the person that you're dealing with and take as detailed a notes as you can each time. No, insurance companies are bureaucracies. Some of it's by design, some of it's not. Take notes, who you spoke to, what they told you, dates and times. It'll come in incredibly handy for you later if you get cross with them, or if you go to an attorney later. That's a couple of things. Review your policies at least once a year, see what coverages you have. Make sure you have under or uninsured coverage on your automobiles. Look at what you have in terms of assets, update your coverages as you need to.